So the challenges that women face are in three main areas: access to markets, access to information, and access to funding. But without sounding generic, I think it's important to also break that down a little further. So when we say information, what kind of information? We're saying women need information about where to trade, how to trade, where are the buyers, what are the ways in which they can send their goods across and be sure that they will get their money back. It's a whole bunch of information. If they are not exposed to that, they cannot access the market because they don't even know it exists. So that's why information is key. When they get the information that there is a market for their products or their services, then we move them into saying, okay, let's open up the market for them. But in order to open up a market for any woman, you need to give her the finances, one, to kind, not just in terms of funding to expand her business. We're saying if she's going to increase her capacity, she's going to need funding for extra staff, probably a bigger workspace, and all these different things require funding. So trade finance is key in order to push women into the markets that are out there for them. And there are several markets: domestic, regional, international. Women can take that ladder one by one through the information they get and access all these different types of markets. So those are really from the women's side of things, those are the challenges. On the side of the institutions, i.e. customs, the tariffs they face, harassment at the borders, to things like, minimum exposure to technology. All these different areas are challenges that they face because they're not able to penetrate the market as they should.
Can you tell me a story of a woman that's been part of your network who you've helped us? What was her challenge when she came to your network, and how were you able to take her through those different rungs of the ladder?
Right. Okay, so I'd like to focus on a legal practitioner we have in the network, which is one of our highlights as a success story, because she, for a long time, didn't know how to export her legal services, right? So what we had to do was liaise with a business association in another African country and say, can we add this woman to your portal in, consulting services for foreigners who want to bring investment into your country but need a lawyer, right? So that was very, very successful, and we found that the model helped us boost our penetration of trade and services with our members. But the good thing is that can be done with several other services. Whether you are an actor, you can join associations in other countries that you are available and you're able to migrate to that African country. Now, in light of AfCFTA, we're going to see a lot more movement of people as well as goods. So it's important that trade and services is actually taken into consideration. So that's that story for us, being able to help her crack not just where are my services needed across the border, but how can she do it? So it's one thing to know something is available, then it's a second thing to know how to maximize it. And another way that we've encouraged those in services to really crack this market is through technology, right? So you have communities like Fiverr who are freelancers, but then you also have a version for formal professional workers. And the good thing is you can join them. Okay, so if you're a speaker, you can join, I'll take that again. What's the speakers? That's Speakers Bureau. I'll take that again. So if you're a speaker, you can join the Speakers Bureau in the country that you're in, and they find you speaking gigs, and you pay commission. So it's really about not looking at the limitations, as glaring as they are sometimes, but really looking at how to leverage what you have and offering that however widely that you can using any means possible, whether that be technology or joining associations of any kind.
So let's talk about sector-specific examples now when it comes to talent.
As interesting as this may sound, we're actually doing a lot more collaboration with government agencies such as the Technology Incubation Center, which helps to reduce the cost of doing many things that would have ordinarily cost manufacturers a lot of money. For example, if you needed to package your goods and it was just a very small order, rather than looking at how to power your facility, you can take the goods and take it to TIC, right? And then you can set up, get your package, everything is done for you there, and it's really at minimum cost. So we encourage our women that make use of the government enabled facilities that are powered, already in existence, that you don't have to do anything about. Get in there, right? Go and visit. If they say no the first time, you don't just sit down, you find another one, because there are several, even across the country, right? So we have them in many other parts. So it's important that for manufacturers, not only to find these sort of centers, but also to look at how to aggregate. So aggregation is very key for manufacturers at this point, where you're sharing the cost of doing things, cost of setups, you're sharing that, or even aggregating your products so that you can serve bigger markets. In the case where maybe as an individual, you may not be able to do that. So it's critical that you don't ride solo in this season as a manufacturer. You have to spread the cost as much as you can. So that's what I would say for manufacturers in Nigeria at the moment.
Let's look at agriculture. So like with smallholder farmers and things like that, processing, all of that. What are some of the challenges they face, and how is your network helping them to surround?
Well, that's a big scale kind of issue we're facing at the moment. So one of our recent challenges was one of our members who she's frequently crossing the border for farmers, on behalf of farmers. So she takes their crops and she takes it to other neighboring countries. And one day she just calls me and says, Olori, my farm, the goats have eaten my crops. The cows have eaten, so she was literally in one night, her whole farm was destroyed. And that is one of the sad stories that you will see more and more of. In another case, it was that they set fire to her farm, right? So there are a lot of insecurity issues that are facing these small, farmers, but we need to also ensure that there are systems in place to help people in this capacity. For example, you could offer them not just, I don't know if I can say this online, let me just think it through properly. So the government just recently opened its own farms, but some people might not want. To be fair, the insecurity issues are still there. So I don't know how to finish off with saying, it's not, we don't see anything changing right now, which is a shame, but it's affecting the small farmers in providing security for themselves and their farms. So yeah, we're just looking at what the government can help with in ensuring that this is reduced significantly and people can trade as normal again.